Hey, you see that? That's our first international arrest in Canada. Oh, you see that? That's our arrest in our 42nd state in Delaware. YouTube's censoring channels like this left and right. If you want to keep this movement alive, consider joining locals in the pinned comment. You can see all of these uncensored, no filter, for only $7 a month. And you can keep this movement alive in spite big tech. Choice is yours. You can support the group that has an arrest in 42 different states in 2 countries. You can see catches like the fire lieutenant, which I can't post publicly until after his trial. You can see all Stinghouse content that I think is too spicy for here, plus much, much more. Contribute directly to getting these people off the streets. Keep yourself entertained. Keep us going. Join locals. Pin comment. What's up? Before we get into the messages with Emily, I need to go over this real quick. In all seriousness, I know that everybody's sick of the old commercial, so here's a new one. If you're interested in buying merch, which is very comfortable, in all seriousness, get the merch here. We have all new stuff, including sweatshirts, shorts, t-shirts, maybe even hats. Check it out. Pin comment, GordonFlowers.com. What's up, guys? Before this video starts, be sure to follow us on all platforms, including on Rumble, which you can find in the pinned comment. This platform has been giving a lot of people like us a lot of problems lately, and Rumble is a lot more receptive to free speech and whatnot. So be sure to follow us on Rumble. Any video on here you can also find on Rumble, and if you're looking for a video and can't find it on here, it'll be on our Rumble. So be sure to follow us on Rumble in the pinned comment. Like the video. This channel is a group of investigative journalists who make educational documentaries showcasing and educating society, especially parents and legal guardians, about potential scenarios that result from young people and adults conversating online if left unchecked. We conduct thorough interviews with consenting adults in an attempt to understand their perspective on why they partake in these conversations online with people that are not of age. The goal of the interviews in these videos and the videos themselves is to gain an understanding of the perspective of the individual being interviewed, so parents and the rest of society can be educated and aware of potential thought processes and desires of adults online to unsupervised persons not of age. These videos are not to cyberbully, harass, degrade, accuse, or threaten any individuals partaking in the interview process or in the video itself. We do not condone any of these actions. These videos are strictly educational, and we grant full permission for academia, which is any classroom setting or in scholarly papers, to show or cite our videos. To ensure that these videos are strictly used for educational purposes, we strictly adhere to YouTube's community guidelines, such as not revealing someone's personally identifiable information, in other words, PII. YouTube defines personally identifiable information as their home address, email addresses, signing credentials, phone numbers, passport number, medical records, or bank account information. We thoroughly look at and edit our videos to ensure that none of this information about any individual is shown in our videos. To ensure extra privacy for each person that is a subject of an interview in any of our videos, as of September 1st, 2022, to thoroughly comply with YouTube's harassment and bullying policy, there will be no mention or information about the last name or first name of any person interviewed in our videos. Due to potentially illegal activities discussed in our videos, law enforcement in the respective jurisdiction we conduct these interviews in is notified of each interview and video filmed by us. We are not accusing any individual interviewed of being guilty or committing a crime. That is the job of law enforcement. We are not vigilantes, and we do not condone vigilantism or vigilante behavior, such as taking the law into your own hand or not notifying law enforcement when a suspected crime takes place. We are investigative journalists. Trigger warning. Some of what can be discussed in these videos can be sensitive to some, emotional, or stressful. The only goal of these videos is to educate the public. At the end of each video, as of September 1st, 2022, there will be an educational portion at the end to discuss what was talked about in the video and to discuss what people can take from that video and learn from and tell others about. Our goal here is to bring awareness and educate the public. Now the video will start.
Don't resist, you'll make it.
All right, sounds good.
Hello, man. All right, how are you? Good. Thanks, Gordon. Yeah. Talk about some more. Okay. Yeah, just wherever's best for you. Cool.
Just one for safety, so you can be sure I'm not here to hurt you, threaten you, or take anything from you, okay?
Okay.
So, I'm not just here to talk to you about Lily, I'm here to talk to you about countless, okay? So,
Okay.
you know, I have your messages going around.
Okay.
Sorry to make you like this. So, basically, I've seen your Instagram activity for the past, I don't know how long. You know, your J account, and how I know it's you, obviously, is because it's your picture. You spelled your middle name wrong here, okay? And not hard to put two and two together, figure stuff out here, okay? So I'm just here to ask you, okay, I know you're not a bad dude, you're a family man, all that stuff, all right? So
Okay.
I know people get carried away online, so I'm just here to talk to you about that, giving you the courtesy of just doing it out here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, let's just kind of get into it, man. You've been working here for a little bit? Okay, because, yeah, I know you're a good guy and all that, okay? So, with this stuff, when did this all start for you, man? Has it been going on for a little bit too long?
Probably.
Okay. How many years?
Uh,
Countless years? Like a lot of years?
Not really.
Like 5, 10?
Who you with?
I'm with a group called Kid Protectors USA. I'm just giving you the courtesy of a conversation because we have evidence from, gosh, I don't even know how long ago. I lost count myself. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So, I mean, with what we have, I mean, safe to say I've seen some stuff, a little bit of like from you consistently, man. So that's what I'm just here to talk to you about, rather than go to your house with your wife and kid there. I don't know where else to find you but here. Okay, so that's why I'm here, because I know you're not a bad dude. I can tell from your Facebook that you care about people around you. So that's why I'm here to just talk about this type of stuff, like away from everybody. Okay, so how many years has this really been, man? You think?
Do you have any kind of identification?
I do, but it's in the car, and like, again, I'm not any type of agency or anything like that. I'm literally just a concerned citizen. So,
Concerned citizen.
Yeah, man, that's why I'm trying to talk to you, just away from everything.
We're recording this?
Yeah, I told you for safety reasons, so you can be sure we're not here to hurt you or anything like that. Okay. Yeah. So, look, man, I know there's been some shit online that you got carried away with, okay? And obviously, I'm not micromanaging your life, but it's clear to see that's happened, all right? So, I'm just trying to figure out. So, look, I don't think you need trouble. I just think you need some help, okay? So, I'm coming here for you because, look, I want to get through this together, all right? I'm here because it should be a team effort to figure this out, get this addressed, get you on the right path, rather than like, me scolding you, saying, "Oh, what the f***, you're sick." I don't think you're sick. I think you're just somebody that, people live double lives sometimes. You did some online, people did to you online, and then your other life is, you're taking care of your family.
Right.
You're a provider, so I don't, obviously everybody has vices, and I think this is just kind of a vice. That's kind of your side thing, and I'm just trying to figure out why it happened, will it happen again, all that type of stuff. So, but of course, to get to the bottom of this, we of course should be honest about what happened and whatnot. So, so when did this really start for you, man? Like how many years ago? The online stuff.
So, what's the end game?
Well, the end game is me trying to figure out what gets good people that are family men tied into this type of stuff. Because look, don't get me wrong, 9-year-olds shouldn't be on the internet, okay? So I'm not, there's two parties. If we're going to place blame on anybody, I'm not placing blame on anybody. I just look at something that happened. I don't think it's your fault, her fault. I just think, but look, people will be like, "Oh, you shouldn't be on the internet doing this." I don't think people should be on the internet on the receiving end of it. So, I mean, I'm trying to figure out everything that goes on, why this type of stuff happens, okay? Because obviously it gets good people into, and so that's what I'm here. Because obviously there's many different routes potentially this in my hands could go. I'm sure I mean, I give you the courtesy of not telling your coworkers about this stuff. Asking you to bring us out here. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, look, that's why I want to get this addressed. And look, I get it, cameras. Somebody's confronting you at 7:30 in the morning. You're sleepy. I'm sleepy. We're all sleepy. So I'm not saying like you just want to wake up at 7:30 in the morning and talk about this. But I mean, come on, with how many girls you were texting, it was bound to happen. You know that. So basically, I'm trying to make the most out of an uncomfortable situation for you. So rather than just I won't say capitalize, but rather than just like exaggerate this to the full extent, because dude, so many people could do some with this. I'd rather just, bring it to a place where nobody's going to overhear, where there's loud power drills going in the back, where people think you're just talking to a customer, getting this addressed. But, again, I'm doing this for you, so basically kind of what I'm asking is just, why'd this happen? How did it happen? Because obviously, this wasn't just you. Something got you into this. Something had to happen. You know how kids, like, I've seen your Facebook. I know we lean the same way politically. You know how kids see the drag queen nowadays? Yeah, I guess. Saw your face, yeah. That can get them up. Okay, so our minds don't stop growing, at 10 years old. I mean, something happened to you to get you to, you didn't just one day decide, oh, let me just do this. Or something happened to you. So I'm trying to figure out when did this start, how did it start, and how to get to this point. Floor's yours if you want to take it. I'm not here to judge you for any answer, by the way, okay? For sure.
Who did you say?
Kid Protectors USA.
That's like a company?
Not a company. We're just concerned citizens. We're just kind of around the Jacks. He's from Tallahassee, I'm from Jacksonville. Just kind of just, online watchdog type stuff. Just making sure kids don't talk to adults, adults don't talk to kids. Just, kind of like, I'm the ref breaking up the two boxers, you know what I'm saying? So, but I should let you know, whether I was the FBI, or which I'm not law enforcement, whether I was the FBI or whether I was an old grandma with a cane, none of that's relevant to what happened here. Like, that's what I'm trying to convey to you, man. I think kind of want to know how this happened, because look, I'm no psychologist, but I can see it in your face. There's a lot of stuff that's happened, and it needs to probably come to light, man, because this is not looking good. I'm gonna let you know, with all the messages I have, all the video calls, all the what pics. I have them. All the what pics that were sent. Look, there's so much crap. There's some people that do this type of stuff, they don't even deserve a conversation. There's some people that are like, oh, I love it, I'm sure they're out there. That people that are like, people that are on Instagram that actually do horrible to a little girl, that. It exists. I mean, everybody knows that exists. Those people don't really deserve a conversation. I can have their messages in my hands and be like, not even worth talking to them. But I'm coming to you because, this stuff right here is like, okay, maybe this is something I just got something. Maybe this is something I was just taking too far. Maybe it's just something I got a little carried away. I don't know. But I'm trying to, clear up the air here, because my assumption is it's not as bad as it looks. All right, and that's what I'm trying to figure out, because there's people that are the kingpins of this that are like really, really into it, and there's people that get sucked into it. So I'm trying to figure out like where we're at, because I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, you know what? This was said. It's not as bad as it looks. I don't know. So that's why I'm trying to figure out, when did this start for you? What started it? Look, man, I can tell you the recording. Yeah, I know there's a lot to say, because I've seen some of the Russian stuff you follow. Okay, I'm not stupid when it comes to this stuff. I look like a. I know you're not stupid either. I mean, you can't work here and be an idiot. I
mean, I believe you.
Until they start the diversity hires, but.
I hear you.
But yeah, dude. Like I said, man. Look, we've done this a couple times. I've literally had people. What was the last time somebody tried to say that we beat them up?
That was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, someone literally said we tried to beat them up. I mean, we were filming the whole time. So when he ended up calling the police, it was pretty funny for us. You know what I'm saying? So that look, man, it's as comfortable as I'm trying to make this for you. There's like a line. You know what I'm saying? And the line is, look, man. I'm not here to judge you, okay? I don't think you're a bad person. Even if you said the most disgusting, which I'm sure is behind your mouth somewhere. Even if you said the most disgusting, I wouldn't judge you anyway, okay? Because there are truly people whose souls go the wrong direction. There's truly evil people, and I don't think you're the second one. That's just me personally. You might be, I don't know, but just looking at what little of your life I know about, I don't think you're evil or anything like that. But like I said, I need to protect myself. I'm on private property, okay? All right, I don't have my vaccine passport. Well, we're in Florida.
Don't have to worry about that here.
Yeah, I don't have my, I'm no customer here, okay? This is to protect my ass, all right? So, like I said, dude, I'm not trying to put this anywhere, okay?
I'll talk.
Yeah. So
I just don't want to be. My concern is that you're trying to.
I'm not trying to do.
I'm sorry. And
Well, I'm
and
gonna let you know, I'm not here to ask. I'm not wanting any money from you. I don't need any favors from you.
I'm
not gonna.
That's my concern.
Okay.
I'd honestly like to trust you.
Well, let me dispel this. Let me dispel this for you, Jason. Let me dispel this for you. If I were to ask you for money, okay, that would get me in so much trouble, okay? First of all, I don't want your money. I don't care about the money. I care about getting you on the right direction, getting this addressed. That's what I care about, okay? The last thing I want is your money. Look, man, think logically. I know it's hard to think logically. You're a logical guy, but it's hard to think logically when this is in your face. Okay, it's not hard to find your house address, okay? It's not hard to know who your wife is. It's all over your Facebook. That's not hard. If I really wanted to tell you, it wouldn't involve it wouldn't involve me coming here to actually talk to you. Let me tell you, if I were to tell you, which obviously I'm not, because I had at this point over a whole year if I wanted to actually do that, you know. Let me tell you something, man. If I wanted to tell you, all it takes is a simple little screen recording, okay? Open it up, you see your pic, you see the age is 9 years old, send it to your wife, send it to you, say, hey, easy. It doesn't involve me coming all the way to your job. That's the dumbest thing I could possibly do. Because if if I were to tell you, now you have my face, you have my name, you have who I'm with. I could have easily hit you up on a text now number and be like, hey buddy, I have these. Send it to this anonymous crypto account and blah blah blah, and this doesn't go to your wife. But come on, man, I'm obviously not here to do that, okay? I'm here to get the truth. Now I get it. It's not easy. It's not easy, man. I get the cameras are nerve-wracking, all right? But again, I got to protect myself, and honestly, it's protecting you too. Because if you report me for calling you, guess whose device they're going to be taken? My device they're going to be taken. And guess what? You know, felony. Look, man. I'm not going to get a felony over. Look, I'm not going to get a felony over this. That, man. If you were like, I don't know, if somebody was actually like, physically like cutting up a kid or something, yeah, I'd go to jail for that. I'm not getting a felony over this. You're crazy if you think I'm going to get a felony over this. I have a girlfriend. I want kids with her. I have too much to live for to get a felony over this. All right. So look, and then on top of that, there's worse out there, way worse out there than you. Okay. So why would I jeopardize me doing something like this over someone who's, compared to a lot of others, not nearly on the same page as them? So, come on, man. I'm not going to you, okay? All right? There's too many... Put it this way. I care about society. There's too many fatherless homes, all right? Last thing I want is another fatherless home, all right? So, look. I'm going to ask you again. When did this all start for you? How did it happen? Why? It's a long story. It's okay. Somebody's coming behind you. I'll let you know, okay?
got exposed at a young age,
Okay.
really young age,
Like, how old are we talking?
probably 10.
Jesus. Okay. Okay.
That's probably when it started.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been it's a demon
Yeah.
that I fight
Yeah. Yeah.
consistently.
For sure.
One of the things that I don't particularly like about myself, and one of the things I can't seem to break.
Okay. So it's like a vice for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, man. Like I said, if anybody's behind you, they come this way. I'm gonna let you know. Okay. You know, we don't gotta.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not sure.
I'm just gonna refer to you as Based Beta O'Rourke. You know who Beta O'Rourke is? You don't know who Beta O'Rourke
Oh,
is?
yeah.
Has anybody said you look like him?
No.
You're like an unvaccinated Beta O'Rourke.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Not as either, but okay. So at a young age, all right. So is this something that kind of just devolved for you? Like just went down a bad rabbit hole? Okay. So is it fair to say? So 38, 39? Okay. So it's fair to say for basically 30 years you've been watching.
He's like that longer, pretty close.
Decades. Okay. So now we have basically cattle. So who exposed you to? Who did this to you?
I was
Yeah.
I went on. I guess at the time I was in middle school. I went had a project to do at the White House.
Okay.
It's not for the White House.
Well, with this White House, it probably is.
Well, good point.
Yeah.
But that was when it started.
Okay. So, look, I mean, I'm not trying to humiliate you with these messages here. I mean, we all know what was said. So I'd rather get to the root of what caused this and turn this around. All right. So you start at a young age. Okay. So now fast forward 28 years later, I'm sure you've seen some very dark. Okay. Did you ever go on the? Where did you see this dark? Like Telegram? No. Okay. Deep web?
Never been on the deep web. Heard about it.
Yeah.
Never done.
Okay. So I see you follow like the young Russian models on Instagram and stuff like that. Okay. We all know what that really means. Okay. So like I say, I asked this question with a very heavy heart, okay? I know you're not bad, but man, you've been something you up for 28 years, man. And like I said, I don't think it's gonna be fixed tomorrow, but you know.
Pretty sure it's going to be fixed.
Okay, all right, but you know, I don't think it's going to be easy to fix as soon as tomorrow. But do I think a right path? Yeah, and I think it took a wake up, you know, a little exorcism, if you want to call it that. So, the young Russian models, all of this stuff, you know, and I know if you've been watching 28 years, you seem to really. I don't mean up as in like two girls, two like women kissing. Okay, I mean as in children. Never been exposed to that? Okay.
I know that stuff's on the dark web. I've heard about that.
Yeah.
I've never seen, never been exposed.
So when did you start like just following like the younger pages on Instagram though?
It's been a while.
Yeah. Okay. Were those basically the J burner accounts? Were those specifically for like your addiction? Okay. And I know you had 2 accounts. Do you have any more than that? Just those 2? Okay. What happened to the other one? Because I only see there's 1 now.
It got banned. I don't know.
Okay.
It's gone.
Just they suspended or something? Okay. So I see one of the accounts goes back to like before 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is it fair to say that you've been following like basically younger than 18, at least on Instagram, for that long? Okay. So, obviously I have messages to Bailey, Hannah, Lily, I'm trying to think who else, Monica. There's a lot. There's more that I'm losing track of. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, how many? I mean, if you had to give me a ballpark number, man, if it's in the hundreds, if it's in the thousands and thousands, if it's a dozen, whatever it is, man, how many basically younger ladies under 18 have talked to you online since you started this?
More than, if you include the ones you just listed, I don't know, 6 or 8 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those 4 and then 2 others.
Most of them I assume are fake. That's typically what they are. They're somebody in another country who's just looking to get whatever their vice is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's typically what I expect. You know, I actually kind of assume they're fake most of the time.
Well, besides Monica, Bailey, Hannah, and Lily, how many others did you talk to that were real?
I don't think any of them are real.
Okay. What ages did they say they were?
Oh,
Like the other ones?
It varies. You know, it just depends.
Were some as young as Bailey, or
No, nobody younger than that.
nobody younger than that? Okay. What was the average age you'd say of the other ones?
Under 12 maybe? I don't know.
11 or 12. Okay. Got it. So, you think these 11, 12-year-olds, did they ever like video call you, or no? Okay. Was it just like flirty messages back and forth? Okay. Did those 11, 12-year-olds, did they speak English?
Most of the time.
Most of the time? Okay. And this is besides the 4 that I mentioned, like that. Okay. How many 11, 12-year-olds through the past couple of years do you think it was?
Other than the 2 we were just talking about. And I mean, there was a bunch of fake accounts.
Okay.
And most of them I blocked.
Okay.
You know,
Like fake accounts saying they were underage?
no, I think saying that they were who they were. I know there were people in other countries.
Okay.
English was always broken up, bad.
Okay.
Typically they got banned.
Okay.
Or, you know.
So the 11, 12-year-old then, so those were like, do they have grammar? Like, were those like more real than the other ones, you think?
No, bad grammar, broken English.
Bad grammar, broken English. Okay. Got it. I mean, were there pictures just of like little girls though?
Yep.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm saying like, how did you know they were 11, 12? Did they tell you?
They
or
claimed.
They claimed? Okay.
And they have pictures that probably, well, I'm sure they pulled off the internet.
Okay. So it was like pictures of basically minors. Okay. Got it. So it was just very like similar to Bailey, Hannah, and okay. So you probably sent your to them not knowing, being stupid. Okay. So if you thought those accounts were fake, like the 11, 12-year-old, why'd you send your to them?
Just being stupid.
Being stupid.
It's one of my vices.
Okay. You just get, I mean, is it that much of an addiction, you think? Okay. So, obviously here with, you remember Bailey, 9 years old.
She claims, and like I said, I assume they're fake.
Okay.
I do. I never believe that they're real because I don't think that kids that age would talk the way that these girls do
What do you mean?
and interact the way these girls do. They're too young to say some of the things they say, think some of the things they think.
Okay.
I always assume they're fake. I assume that there's somebody in some other country that has got their vice, and I'm okay with that because it gives me what my vice is. I always assume it's fake, which is why when they say they want to meet, I never do because I know it's not real. I know it's fake.
Okay. So, December 19th, say hi there, hi. Well, this is, I think, 2021. My name is Bailey. I'm 9 from the U.S. How about you? Jay, 25 from the U.S. So you always claim you're like 20-something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if they're fake, then I'd be my fake self. Because these little girls, they're not girls. I know they're not. I know that just by the way that they talk. Girls that are 9 don't talk the way she talks.
Okay.
Girls that are 12 don't talk the way that they talk. They just don't.
So, I mean, do you like? Is there a point that you catch on to them being fake, or
Pretty early on.
Pretty early on. Okay. Like, at what point did you start to believe that Bailey was fake?
Pretty early on.
Like,
Yeah. Like within probably 4 or 5 messages, I can tell. And I would never meet any of these girls. but that's not my thing, not something that I want to do. And they just don't talk that way.
Okay.
Just don't interact that way.
Well, I mean, this is the first few messages. Hi there, hi there. My name is Bailey. I'm 9 from the U.S. How about you? And you said J25 from the U.S. Okay, good morning, beautiful. Good morning. So, I mean, this is not really good grammar on her part here. This is just kind of,
Which is why they're fake, and I assume that.
okay.
I almost always assume that they're fake.
Okay.
And it was always interesting. The sister thing was a very big cue that they were fake.
Like Bailey and Hannah.
Right.
Okay. So is the sister thing kind of when you fully believed it was fake, or?
Oh, I knew pretty early on, but that just kind of confirmed it for me.
Okay. So Hannah claimed to be how old? 13?
Sure. I don't remember, honestly. Maybe
Okay.
somewhere in there.
Okay. And then Lily claimed to be.
Oh, and the wanting to meet at the town center thing was always very weird to me. You know, first off, why would a 12-year-old be at the town center by herself?
Right.
It makes no sense to me at all. That would never happen. It's not if she was my daughter. There's no way. You know, definitely fake.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. And to Lily, I mean, you guys talked a little bit last night about some stuff.
I knew at that point, 100% knew she was fake.
Lily, why's that?
Well, I knew early on from the from the start with some of the grammar stuff, the way she talks. They talk too much like adults to be the ages that they claim that they are.
Okay. So, basically, to Lily, I mean, last night, whoever it was, y'all flirted around, and some pics were exchanged back and forth. Okay. Did you send your to Lily a couple times? Maybe.
Of course,
Maybe.
Assuming that she's some person in wherever, Africa.
Okay.
you know.
Okay. So you sent your assuming she was something in Africa. Okay.
Yeah, assuming that she's not, but that's okay because mentally, that's okay for me.
Right.
It still gives me the advice that I need,
Right.
or maybe not need, want. What's
Right.
a better word?
Right. So basically, to Hannah, Lily, and Bailey, you sent your pic to all three of them. Oh, okay. So Monica, you asked her to hang out with you.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, 10-year-old. Okay. What was going on there?
Knew she wasn't 10.
Knew she wasn't 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Knew she wasn't 10.
Okay. So, I mean, did you ever at one point think it was just someone undercover trying to get you, or?
Yeah. That crossed my mind several times, which is why I would never actually meet them.
Okay.
Would never, and wouldn't want to anyway, even if they were the age that they claim to be. I would never do it.
Okay. I mean, but did you ever think like, hey, man, maybe I'm putting my toes into some deep stuff here, and?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like a vice that, you know, or maybe call it a fantasy. Okay. So when did these fantasies with basically this type of stuff start for you? Because obviously, you know, whether you believe it's real or not, I mean, it's still either role playing. Well, I mean, whether they are real or not, it's still role playing. Like someone has a very young girl, and then you as like the adult. So I mean, when did that type of fantasy start for you?
Years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Years ago. After I got that early exposure, I think it changed me mentally, honestly.
Okay.
I think it really affected me more than I would be willing to admit. And,
Do you think
it was
that?
impactful.
Right. Because, you know, when people, for example, get at a young age, you know, it doesn't always happen, but it's very often that, like, you know, whatever happens to them, they get forced into liking that, you know, not by choice, but just, you know. So do you think at a young age kind of gave you that underage fantasy? Okay.
I mean, that's how old I was.
Right.
When it happened.
Right. And it's kind of like now same thing you're fantasizing about. Okay. So when did you start to notice that you had this fantasy? Because obviously when you're 10 years old, you know, when I was in 4th grade, I look at my 4th grade crush and I'm like, oh, I want to see her naked. But obviously if I saw the 4th grade version of her, I wouldn't want to see her naked at this point, right? So when did you start to notice, like, hey, I'm becoming older, the fantasies I have are still the same, like still young. You know what I'm trying to say here? Okay. When you start to notice that the gap in the fantasies?
Late 20s, I would guess.
Late 20s. Okay. Was it like with like 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, or?
No, it started early, older than that.
Okay.
I was probably 11 or 12, maybe 13, because that's when I got exposed to it.
Right.
And it impacted me the way it did.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So when did it start to get down to like fantasizing about, a 9 or 10-year-old?
that was probably, and honestly, the whole Lily thing. The only reason why I was okay with that is because I was assuming that she was fake, and it didn't really. The age didn't really matter at that point. I just had someone who would talk to me.
Right. But got it. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But like, I'm just asking, like, when did it start to become like I'm just imagining a 9 or it's not like you're actually doing it, but like imagining a 9 or 10-year-old in your mind, just stroking to it. Like in your early 30s?
No.
How recent was this?
Maybe just started talking to her, and the age thing didn't really have a whole lot of impact on me, honestly. And the fact that she was fake, I didn't.
Well, it's just basically like, I see on your Instagram you follow like this profile of an 8-year-old girl that, I don't know if you talk to her or not, but it's like some parent managed page or something like that. It's pages like that. It's like some 8-year-old, whatever, I don't know. 8 años, just some Spanish girl, I don't know. I mean, you follow a lot, but so basically, when did it go from like, you said your late 20s, you started to notice the age gap, like at least in fantasy, to when did it go down to like, very little girls, like 9, 10, 8, whatever, stuff like that?
And I don't necessarily fantasize about any of those girls. I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching them dance, but I don't really fantasize about any of them. Honestly, not the ones that young. I don't.
Okay, which ones do you fantasize about?
I don't really fantasize about any of them all that much.
I know. Well, Jay, you mentioned
just playing with,
Yeah, but you mentioned this is like a vice, it's like an outlet. Okay, so if you don't believe they're real, that's one thing. But in the end, there's this person saying, "Hey, I'm 9 years old," and next thing you know, you're sending your picture.
Yeah.
So I mean, when did those kind of thoughts start to get in your head? Because obviously we know what happened to you to make you think like this, but I'm just trying to see when did those type of thoughts specifically just kind of,
When I started talking to her, I guess that's kind of maybe when it started.
Okay.
But I was still assuming that she wasn't real.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more about having someone that I could interact with than her age. It wasn't necessarily that, the age she claimed to be. I don't necessarily fantasize about girls that young. I don't.
Okay.
13, 14-year-olds maybe.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily fantasize about any of those girls, honestly. Having someone to interact with was kind of more, the vice was bad, than it was necessarily fantasizing about the girls in general.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're on the same page with that because, having someone to interact with, your wife's at home, so if it's just about, if it's fully about interaction, then obviously the wife would be right there. Look, man, like I'm not judging you for this because obviously at a very young age your mind got f***ed up. Something happened to you, okay? And maybe it's more than you're even letting on about what happened to you. Did you get? Okay, so it was probably just that really f***ed you. Okay, so I mean, obviously if there's a picture of a very little girl, whether it's real or not, whether it's that her or not, and you're saying stuff like I'm about to burst myself. I mean, that's kind of, there's many, many, many other people to say that to. And, the fact that it's to a 9-year-old, someone claiming they're 9, in your words, the fact that it's to that tells me that really, I don't know. Because again, this isn't one time, this is 28 straight years. That puts your mind in this place. So,
I agree.
Okay, so I'm not saying, you became, 18 years old and instantly started fantasizing about 9-year-olds, but something has. It got to that point somehow. It's all. I mean, it was bound to happen after 28 years. At one point, now you're just in a very bad zone in your mind where it is getting this young. Okay, it's not your fault. I know you didn't want this, but it happened. So I'm just trying to figure out when do you think that starting point was? Not from 13, 14, but to 9, 10.
So I think what probably happened is stop doing it for me.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly when that was.
Right.
To be honest with you, but I think that's probably what happened.
Okay.
So, and you know, so I got an. I don't remember exactly when I got an Instagram, but it wasn't that long ago.
Mm-hmm. Couple years.
I haven't had one very long.
Right.
You know, so then, you know, Instagram's pretty good at their
algorithm.
the algorithm. So you know, you see one page, you know, that you weren't even looking for, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
You go, okay. And then, you know, she's kind of cute. You know, so then it happens again because the algorithm saw you paused.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the algorithm, oh, okay, he likes that, so they show you more, and they show you more. And I'm going, well, I can't have this on my main page. So then you create the second Instagram.
Okay.
You know, so that's probably kind of how it happened.
Okay.
And it hadn't been that long.
Right.
That I've had an Instagram. It hadn't been long at all. 3-4 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you think that's what? So the regular wasn't doing it for you. So you think that's what put you on to like the basically prepubescent type? Okay. Okay. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. So, you know, Jay, I appreciate how upfront you've been, man. It takes a real man to do that. You know, like I said, that's why I think it was best to have it here, like rather than like, you know, knock on your door or something like that. So, yeah. So basically, look, you said I wasn't doing it for you anymore. All right. Look, I know how addicts are. There's addicts, and some way, somehow, a lot of times they end up at the same place. They end up at the same destination. You may not be fully there yet, but, you know, nothing's stopping you from going there, and except for until I came in, pretending to be a customer. So, look, man, it's not hard to look at your phone and know that you've seen some online. I'm not talking about a 9-year-old dancing in a G-string. Yeah, it's weird, but like, you know, whatever. Instagram, shit happens. Yeah, Instagram's more to blame for that than you, for sure.
I wouldn't say that, but I would agree with you.
Yeah, yeah. But I know you've seen some very to where, because, like I said, I don't want to humiliate you with these messages, but the conversations, real or fake with whoever, they turn graphic, sexual, basically, you know, like I said, I had to figure out that you saw 10 years old. There's no way for me to find that out based on doing internet searches of you. But would it be something I could assume that something happened to you at a young age with these messages? Yeah, because you just jump right into it, man. You jump right into it. I know you're not proud of that. That's not something you're proud of at all. I can see it, man. But my point is, you saw a little bit more than, you know, two 30-year-olds doing missionary style, is what I'm getting at here, okay? And I know when it comes to, like, I know you would never seek out that crap, or at least you didn't want to seek out that crap, but it got to a point, and I can tell, man, because, like I said, the messages, it's not hard to see where the J account's been, who's DM'd it, all of that stuff. It's not hard to see. So I fully, and because it's common sense, man, truly. I mean, in the end, regardless of these or not, it's common sense to know that if, let's see who's walking here. Hold on. We're good. Yeah, we're good. At some point, if regular wasn't doing it for you, and then we have messages to people at least posing maybe to be little girls, there has to be something that in between that happened, okay? So I'm gonna ask you, dude, again, I'm not judging you for this because, you know, let me just get this out of the way. Did you ever produce any images of child, like take pictures of that? Okay,
Never.
okay, okay,
Never.
okay.
Never.
Good. All right.
Not that guy.
Okay.
Never.
All right.
Which is why I never asked for pictures either.
Okay.
Not my thing.
Right. I didn't suspect that you were that guy. You know, I just had to ask to make sure. You know, maybe you'd slip up and say something. I don't know. But
I'm 100% honest truth.
okay.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Okay. So what I do know is there's people on Instagram, especially the Russian pages, that get people sucked into this. All right. And I know with these, yeah, it's weird because I've seen more messages from other people doing similar things. They always ask for pics. You never did.
Never want. Don't. Not my thing.
You never did. So I think you know that's wrong, okay? And I think something sucked you into it at one point. Because I know on Instagram, people spam people with images of that stuff. With
Never gotten anything. Not of that. Never. I get I get crap all the time with girls, wanting to meet, or I get that kind of crap all the time.
Right.
I've never gotten child.
Right. But I'm saying, like the Russian pages, they link that stuff to you from either on Telegram or something. They just DM random people and start linking it. Twitter, did you ever have a Twitter?
No.
So it's just Instagram with this burner stuff, or any other apps like Whisper or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Usually, no.
So it's just your burner app on Instagram? Okay. So I know people, they see who you're following, they look at these pages, and they try to offer you CP. Have you ever been offered it to buy or anything? I'm not saying you bought it. Have you has someone asked you, do you want it?
I've definitely never bought it. No. Nobody's ever contacted me. I've never, no. Nobody's ever contacted me.
Nobody's ever contacted you about it?
Now I'm talking about child. Now I get contacted about, regular girls wanting to meet all the time. All the time. But never about child.
Okay. So, have there ever been any internet searches as you, or you just look up a young girl in a bikini or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Like, looking at them doesn't really, the interaction with the 9-year-old or the 12-year-old is more the vice for me. But I don't want the pictures. I don't.
Okay. But like my point is, I think somehow someone sent you the photos, or you've come across the photos to know that it's wrong. You don't want those photos, and you'd rather just have the interaction. Because look, man, 28 years of where you are looking at photos and videos of just naked. I know it's adults most of the damn time, but it has to be a point where it's not doing it for you anymore. And some way, somehow, I think what happened is because there's really bad people that are fully into it, that are trading these images around, all of this type. I don't think you're into that stuff at all, but I think at some point your toes were dipped into the water of CP, and I would assume you pulled them out pretty quickly. I think that's what happened, Jay, because it's not hard for me to deduct the messages from what's happened to you as a kid and just common sense. It's not hard for me to deduct that, and on top of that, internet search history, it ain't hard to see where your Instagram account's been, stuff like that. So I think that at some point your toes were just dipped into the water of CP. You dabbled in it for, I don't know, a couple days, a week maybe, who knows. Then you got out of it. I think that's what happened.
I don't remember ever being exposed to it or offered to me. I mean, now when I was a little kid, right after I got exposed, I did.
Okay.
When I was probably 11, 12 years old.
See child.
Well, I wanted to see kids my age. It wasn't.
Right.
It was pictures.
Yeah, pictures.
Because I wanted to see kids my age.
Okay.
Now they were fake, but yeah.
They were fake kids. You're right. What do you mean?
The pictures were fake. They weren't. They had obviously been photoshopped, but I did. I did a search when I was 11. Probably 11. Maybe 11.
When you were 11, 12. Okay.
Because I wanted to see kids. I wanted to see girls my age.
Right. When's the last time you just watched in general?
Probably yesterday.
Okay. Got it. Do you do that on Instagram or just a website? Okay. Does your wife know about any of this?
No.
Okay, so it's been hidden from her for however long y'all been married. Are y'all high school sweethearts? College? Just been together for a little bit? Okay. So, she's never found anything? Like, she doesn't know about the burner accounts or anything like that? Jeez, okay. So basically, that's what I'm trying to get at here, man. Like, I know you wouldn't ever really harm a kid or want to harm a kid. Okay. I know. But look, if you did look up child at a very young age, and then you said at some point regular doing it for you, look, first of all, where did you even find child 30 years ago?
Well, I mean, back then the internet was not very, it was new, it was fresh. Back then, you could just type it in Google.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And this was, what, the 90s?
Uh-huh.
Probably 95, 96.
Okay.
We hadn't had the internet very long, parents aren't home, I'm probably 12 at the time. You know, mom and dad leave. You just type it in, and back then, stuff would pop up.
So you just Google like naked 12-year-old or something? Okay.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
The internet's changed.
Yeah.
But
When did you start to notice that started to like change and not be a thing anymore?
I haven't done a search like that in years, so I have no idea.
Okay. When's the last time you think you did a search for that?
It's probably 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't do it anymore after that. Well, not to mention my dad was pretty smart. He went and did an internet history, just looked, saw the search, you know, talked to me. Son, shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. So I didn't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't move out until I was 25.
Really?
So, you know.
When did you meet your wife?
2010.
Okay.
So what was that, 13 years ago?
Okay. So this was right when you moved out. Wow. It's amazing what happens when people stop being bums and leave the house. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm getting at here, man. It doesn't go from you look, I mean, you know, you look it up at your own age, you know, it's whatever. But you don't go from looking that up at your own age to now you're still talking to girls, at least pictures of the same damn age that you were looking up 28 years ago, all while saying regular doesn't do it for you anymore. If you said you watched yesterday and now that doesn't do it for you apparently, but now this does do it for you, like it's kind of all over the place, man. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, because look, again, dude, if some way, somehow you came across child the past couple months or weeks or years, it's okay, dude, because again, I'm not judging you for it. I know you didn't produce any of it, because that's really that's horrible if you produced it. Yeah, I know you didn't produce any of it, but Jay, if regular isn't doing it for you, and then child is something you searched up at a very, very young age, it's corrupted your mind. Jay, it's not like your mind got better from 10 years old. It's just evolved into something worse. I mean, was this 28 straight years of addiction, pretty much? Okay. Look, man, I know. Yeah, I know it didn't get better, man. And it's not about you, like, admitting, not admitting. It's not about any of that. It's about, I'm trying to figure out on the backside, if you have seen child online recently, why is it so easy to find? Why are people trading it? That's what I'm concerned about.
I swear, no child, and you can't even. It's not like you could even go find it this day and time. I mean, Jesus, everything's so locked down now, which is a good thing, by the way. You can't just go search for it, you know, even if I wanted to. But yet, I haven't. I don't do that. The interaction does it for me, and even though I knew they were fake, the fantasy would do it for me. You know, but I didn't.
Right, but that's the thing. That's the thing. If you watch regular, and then this is a fantasy for you, these basically a little kid fantasy, it's not unreasonable to just deduct. Again, it's so easy to see where your Instagram account's been. It's so easy to see what you follow. Mm-hmm. The Russian accounts are never good news.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, it's so easy to see that. Look, man, I'm not saying you watch child day of the week and you just, you know, that's the main thing you do when you just have some alone time. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, look, I know for a fact, and that's where we're not on the same page here, because I know the child thing. It's not easy. It's not easy to just say it happened. Okay, I get that, man. It's not the most flattering thing, but again, if you didn't produce it, that's a whole, producing it and then getting sucked into it is two very, very, very different things. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm sure you agree with that. I'm sure people sent. It's not the same as getting you just got sent child from somebody and it triggered something in your mind versus you took that picture of the kid, you sent it around. But Jay, it's so easy to see on your Instagram account that people have offered it to you, people have sent you links for it, that you've dabbled in it a little bit. I'm not saying you wanted to do it. I'm not saying that it's just, you know, that's something that you're proud of. I'm not saying it's something you do often, but it's obvious. I mean, it's common sense to see that there has been some dabbling into some child on your end. I'm not saying you watch it every day. I'm not saying you looked at it for too long. I'm just saying it's happened maybe sparsely, recently, past couple of years, months. I don't know. It's happened sparsely with you because that's how these messages form. The fantasy doesn't. Just like with the interaction, the fantasy doesn't come before you saw some. You had to see some real to be this deep into this fantasy, and that's what I'm trying to get at. What caused it? Because it wasn't just, look, man. I used to be a addict myself. Okay, it never went from big to, okay, I'm texting a picture of a little girl to get off. It never went to that for me, man. Okay, because I didn't see anything. To trigger that. I think you saw something, and that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get Instagram to stop doing this. I'm trying to get these people off Instagram, off the internet, that do this to people like you. But I know you've seen some real stuff to be like this, and it wasn't no, hey, yeah, bad, whatever. I know you've seen some real to be like this. So even if it was just an image, because one image can really, one drag show get up, one image can do something to your mind. And I'm not talking about when you're 11, 12. I mean, recently, past couple years, past couple months. Maybe it was right before you got the Instagram, because that would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense. You see an image of child, make that burner Instagram to fulfill that fantasy without getting in trouble for it.
Yeah, I haven't really been exposed to child. Now, I did look at the pictures when I was a kid.
Okay.
But
what I'm saying is, I don't think you've really been exposed to it. I think you've got exposed to it, past couple of years, maybe a couple times, and then what makes most sense to me is you did see some child. You make the burner accounts because you know it's wrong. You make the burner accounts because you know it's wrong, so you can get off on this fantasy without actually harming your kid. I think that makes the most sense from just hearing what you have to say and seeing your messages. Because sure, I'm sure some of these kids are worth it. It's not hard to see that. There's a lot of it's just Beto if we wait for him to pass. It's not hard to see that there's a lot of scammers from Africa, Nigeria, where they're from. It's not hard to see that. So if you fulfill a fantasy of this, whatever picture of some kid, but it's not really them, yeah, that's one thing, fine. But I think you saw some child. That maybe caused you to make the burner account, and something happened. Something got you deeper into this, because dude, there's addicts that watch for 20 years straight, and it's always big Latinas. It never changes from that. It happens. So I think you saw some child. I don't know how much. I just know you saw something to make those burner accounts and to fulfill that fantasy.
It wasn't child.
What was it?
It was like I told you, it was the Instagram. All on Instagram. I got the exposure with the algorithm, right? To the girls dancing, or whatever you want to call it, the Russian accounts. And I think that's what started. It really is. Because I've never been exposed to child. And really, I don't know that I would want to be. I don't think the fantasy goes that deep. Because the idea of seeing a little girl doing stuff like that, especially with somebody like another man, like a grown man, I don't think that would do it for me.
I'm not saying that did it for you. Okay, well, maybe it wasn't like child. Maybe it was just a naked image of a girl that did it for you.
When I was a kid, there was probably 8 or 10 of them that I found on the internet.
Right, but I'm not saying a full-blown child video of an adult male and a female. I'm sure that'll just make your conscious just like seeing that. But I think maybe just some pictures of little girls, maybe just with no clothes on, or maybe showing with no guys in it. Maybe that's what did it for you to make this burner. But I know it doesn't go from them just dancing in bikinis to just getting very sexual like this. It has to be something that caused this, man. Look, maybe it wasn't just a child video of an adult male and a female, or I'm sorry, and a little female. It could have just been.
And now when I watch, it's the younger girls are what I like. The petite girls,
right?
The flat-chested girls,
right?
That's what I like.
Okay, I know. So basically, like flat-chested girls, you look up child. Young, again, same age. I don't fault you for that, but you got exposed to it at a young age. Okay, you have fantasies with girls with assumed 9-year. Well, you have fantasies with people representing themselves as 9-year-olds. The interaction. Look, man, I know you probably look up the most borderline legal you can. So this is why I think you saw some illegal. I'm just saying, yeah, it is legal for sure. But like I said, I've broken the law before. He's broken the law before. I know you've seen some illegal that you didn't want no part of, that you just found another outlet. Basically, you want to be a vegetarian, but you're eating possible meat. You're eating soy burgers. Not too much, because I see your Facebook with your political posts. So maybe not too much soy burgers, but I think that's what happened. I think you had a whiff of the real thing, and I'm not talking about when you were a kid. I think you had a whiff of the real thing. Maybe seeing some images of little girls naked, and then you're like, cute. I don't want to no part of this. I'm gonna do the impossible meat challenge. I'm just gonna, rather than looking at this, I'm gonna just get off to fantasies like this, or I'm gonna go watch like barely legal. I think that's what happened. So if it is, then tell me.
It's for any job. And even if somebody had sent me something, because none of this even started until the Instagram.
Right.
And nobody's ever sent me anything on Instagram. And even if they had, I would have deleted it. But I don't recall anybody ever sending me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Did somebody send you something that you deleted?
Not that I can remember. Not of. And anything that anybody ever sends me that has a link, I delete. Because my first reaction to that is it's viral, it's spam, I don't ever click on any of that stuff.
Has anyone sent you like a link that says mega or something?
I delete them. Maybe.
Like, is a thing called Mega Link ring a bell for you?
It's mega.
Mega Link's just like a link with a lot of images on it. Did anyone just send that to you and you maybe didn't open it, or?
Maybe. I mean, it could have. I don't ever open any other links. I just delete it.
Okay.
But maybe.
Okay, does Mega like ring a bell for you at all?
Not that I can recall. I'm trying to remember. Most of the links I get, they'll have like LI or LIU, and they'll end in weird endings. They won't be .com, so they'll be like what have I seen? .LUs. Occasionally there'll be a .org, maybe. I don't remember anything with Mega though.
Okay.
But I delete them. I don't open them. I don't ever click on any links.
Okay.
That scares me. I don't know where they're going. I don't know when they're going, and I assume that most of them are spam anyway. So I just delete them.
What time is it? Oh God, I hope the pickle place is open. Oh, I'll get some fried pickle at Texas Roadhouse soon. Love that place. But yeah, God damn it. Wish there was DoorDash to get fried pickles here. Starving. But okay. So Jay, look, man. I mean, there's just a disconnection here, man. So did you see those bikini pictures on your main Instagram? That's what made you made the burner. Okay. So how did those pictures even pop up on your Instagram? Were you just looking up like boobs or something, or?
No, I'm trying to remember when I first got my Instagram, what I was watching, or what I was looking for. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. I'm trying to remember why that one popped up. I wasn't searching for it. I was looking at something. I'm trying to remember what it was. And it somehow one of those the dancer things came up. And I don't remember why.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was looking at or what I was searching for. I was just scrolling through my feed or something, and I don't remember why. But I don't remember. I just know one of them came up, and I clicked on it and watched it. And then after you do that, the algorithm kicks in, and then you get another one. You click on look at that one, then you get another one, then you get another one. I said before I knew what my whole feed is, those dancing. I can't have this on my Instagram account. That's what I made it.
Okay. And this has been going on for a couple of years now.
Oh.
Okay. So do you just kind of message hello to every account you follow?
No. I can tell the difference. I'm not going to message an account that's, got a bunch of, if it's got 120 posts and it's got, and it says parent manage or mom manage on it or something like that, I'm not going to message that account. I know that's real. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Okay. So basically, when it says mom, I mean that's the mom manage again. So what makes me kind of think that there is a belief that some of these girls are real is one, yeah, you never went to go meet, okay, because I know you wouldn't actually harm them in person. Two, you never asked for pics back from them, right? Because I think that's your line. I don't think you'd ever want to exploit a girl like that. And two and three, this is what really makes me know, because if you were talking to some undercover agent, you wouldn't be saying where you work. You send pictures of yourself at work, okay? Look, I'm sure there's been accounts that ask you for money. Yeah. Lily, Hannah, Bailey never did. They never asked you for money. You told them all where you worked, okay? I think, look, man, after 28 years of, yeah, man, whose mind wouldn't be like this? I think you still controlled yourself and didn't go through with what you said you were going to do, because I don't think you could. I think you'd probably that happened. That'd be some up, sure. I don't think you want to do that, and I think that's why I didn't. Because if you thought it was a sting operation, then you wouldn't be sending where you work, because anybody can come here. You know, anybody can. If it was a sting operate, anybody could just. They don't even need to ask where you work. They'll just find your ass, and you know that. I think you believe they're real, but there's a very thick or thin line. It sounds bad no matter how I say it. There's a line that you didn't cross with them. You know, I'm not saying you fully believed that some of these accounts were real, okay? Especially ones that ask you for money. I can tell you those are probably fake. I mean, unless the 12-year-old already has that much of gold digger tendencies, then that's her issue. But yeah. But obviously Lily, Hannah, Bailey, Monica, they never asked you for money, okay? You never asked them for a pic. And that tells me you did think they were, because you wouldn't want to exploit a girl like that. You didn't go meet any of them, because I don't think you'd ever want to actually go through with a little girl like that. That's why I think you just kept it online. You just basically, you know, they didn't stop texting you. You didn't stop texting them, because to that extent you can't really control yourself. It is what it is. But I think you know the line. I think you know there's a difference between going to basically touch a little girl in person versus, you know, you get horny and send pics. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know if it's because of their age, whatever. I just think that these were girls that are talking to you. They're interested. And yeah, for those reasons, especially taking pictures at work, saying you work here in this city, I think that cements the belief that you thought they were real enough to not go meet them, real enough to not go too far with them, real enough to just send a couple of pics and call it a day.
I really did.
Why did you send where you work? Why did you send where you work?
Just conversation.
Right, but that's so easy to lie about, dude. That's so easy to lie about.
I honestly never thought they were real. I assumed that they were some dude, and especially because they would never actually text me all the time. Occasionally they would, and they never text me at the same time.
Right, but that doesn't mean anything, dude. So basically,
Everything good?
Yeah.
yeah, basically, I mean, at some point maybe you can pick up on that pattern, but at the very beginning, when they tell you they're 9 years old, and then you immediately send a pic, yeah, maybe there's stuff that cemented that it was fake for you. But look, I'm not saying maybe you fully believe they're real. There were points where you thought it was a maybe, and that's why you didn't want to go meet. That's why you didn't want to give too much to them or about yourself.
It's more fantasy than anything else.
Yeah.
They never talked like kids.
Right, but you got on the phone with one of them.
The phone.
Yeah, you did a call with Hannah, I believe. Yeah. Look, I mean, they asked for money. They asked for all this stuff. They never did. You got on the phone with Hannah and showed your.
I assumed that never saw her. It was a voice call. Supposedly, it was a voice call.
Okay.
So assumed that it was some dude in Africa, wherever, that had his own vice. And I was
Okay.
They did it for him. I was doing it for me. We're good.
So Lily this morning sent you a selfie, and you called it beautiful, and it was, look. So this is what I'm saying, man. Like I said, there's some accounts you probably think are fake, and there's some that I think it's 50-50 for you. I think you think they could be real, and that's why you don't take any chances by doing anything or going to meet. So I think it would really your mind up if you actually saw them in person.
Yeah, I would never. Even if I thought they were real, I would not do it. I wouldn't.
I know.
I would not.
I know.
would not.
I think you wouldn't go, especially if they were real.
No.
Right. So that's why I think there had to be some type of belief.
I mean, maybe there was something down deep inside me that liked pretending that they were real, but I knew, you know.
I don't think you did.
I knew.
I don't think
There's no way
there's no way they could be real. But what difference is it to you? You still follow real little girls on Instagram. You do. I think to you the line's just blurred, man. I think to you it's just a fantasy you get off to, whether they're real or not. I know you don't mean no harm by it, but obviously, look, if you're sending pictures at work and you're loosely saying your real name, I mean, Jay isn't your fake name. It's just not your full name. If this stuff is loosely being said to them, and it's just so easy, because again, they're not asking you for money. You would have blocked if they were asking for money, obviously. They're not asking you for money. All of this type of stuff. You're saying where you live. You literally told Lily where you live. You didn't say the exact address. You said where, though. You said in between. You obviously didn't think it was an undercover agent. Obviously, you didn't think that, because nobody would do that. You're too smart to give your address to that. So it couldn't have been a scammer from Africa, because none of them asked you for money.
Never give me any address.
You gave your location. In between.
Didn't give an address.
Yeah, but you gave you gave your area and you gave your place of work.
I didn't give the company.
Right, but I mean, anybody can find that, and there's also pictures, I believe, at one of your Instagrams where you have the logo right here.
That may be.
Yeah. So I mean, Jay, like, that's why I think, like, yeah, you have a very big line in the sand that you're not going to cross with them. But yeah, at some point, I think you're just so carried away, and I think maybe you just got carried away. But I think you're so carried away that your fantasies in your mind just take over, whether they're real or not. I think in the back of your mind, you were thinking they could be real, they could not be. It doesn't really matter to you. That's what I think happened.
Maybe.
Okay. So do you think there was kind of a 50-50 going back and forth sometimes?
Maybe.
Okay. Maybe, or do you think that's kind of what happened? Okay. That's the thing. Like, you shouldn't be taking any chances, even if it's a maybe in your mind. I mean, so what did you feel when you were sending these pics to maybe someone that could have been real to you? I mean, did you not feel bad about that?
Like I said, in the back of my mind, I was assuming the whole time that it was some dude wherever, in some other country that was using it for his fantasy, and I was okay with that. That was fine with me. That was what he needed. I was getting what I needed, and we're all good.
Right, but dude, I mean, the thing is, like, again, if it's somebody else in another country, I don't think you would send your to a guy.
In my head, it was whatever.
It was, yeah, no, I don't, dude. I don't think you're letting. I don't think you're letting a guy see what you look like, see where you work, have your fixed. If you're worried about black, so you told me in the beginning you were worried about. So, how is that not prime for?
If they're in another country, I mean, what are they gonna do?
They can easily find your wife.
I mean, what are they gonna do? If they're in Africa or wherever, what are they gonna do?
But Jay,
I wasn't really concerned about that.
Jay, yeah, exactly. I don't think you were concerned about it. I don't think you were concerned about any of this, whether they're real or not, whether they're fake. I just think your addiction got you into this type of stuff, and yeah, I just think your addiction kind of got you into this type of stuff, And now it became like whether they're real or fake. I don't know. I think at some points you assume they're real, some points you assume they're fake. I just think you just were too carried away to care.
That's probably true.
Okay. But I mean, like, when at some points where you assume did you not feel bad about this stuff happening, or?
Obviously.
Okay.
I mean, obviously there's a lot of remorse.
Okay.
You know, there was remorse every time.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
Okay.
I would get done doing whatever I was doing, and I'd feel that always.
Okay.
And I'd get to a point where with my willpower, and go, you know what, I'm gonna stop. I'd erase the instrument down, or delete it, or hide it, or whatever you want to call it, and I'd stop. So I'm not gonna do this for a little while, and then
Just goes back right into.
then you fall right back into the hole. Something happens, and you're right back in the hole again, and here I am, and then you can't break out for a little while, and then here we are.
Yeah. What did you feel after Lily last night?
I regretted it.
You regretted it?
Like I always do. I feel bad for a little while, and try to figure out a way to move on,
Then here you are saying good morning to her. Okay.
So, I just sleep off the remorse and figure out the next one.
Okay. Because earlier you told me that, you did it because you would feel no remorse because you thought they were fake. But if you're feeling remorse, then, I know you don't feel bad about who you think is an African seeing. Maybe if they showed you theirs, you'd feel pretty bad about it. It'd be like, damn, I got nothing. But yeah, man, if there's remorse, I mean, all that does is tell me that, yeah, there is some thought that these could be real girls, and I'm really doing some right now.
Not necessarily that. I'd feel remorse because I was doing it at all. Not necessarily because I thought they were 9 years old. Because even at that point, I never truly believed those girls are real.
Yeah, I'm not saying with Bailey. I'm saying with Lily. I think with Lily, she because you were asking her for selfies, which you never did with Bailey and Hannah. I don't believe.
Well, only because she was asking them for me.
Right.
So.
Right. But
and part of that was trying to figure out if she was real.
Okay.
And
So you were kind of probing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to figure out if she was actually real. And when she didn't send the second one, I said okay.
So were you kind of 50-50 on Lily then until she didn't send the second one?
No, not really.
Okay.
Well,
if you were trying to figure out if she was
60-40,
okay.
70-30,
okay.
maybe.
Okay.
But
So I mean, this is just a lot of scenarios where you're thinking in your mind, okay, this could be a real girl. I just sent my to her.
I never.
But Jay, what I'm saying is, out of all the accounts that you've reached out to over the couple of years, 'cause I only found out about you like late 2021. Out of all the accounts you reached out to the past couple of years, it's balanced. Some of them were real, some were fake. I mean, I'm sure it was a combination.
None of them were refugees. And then once you kind of figure out what the pattern is, then I go, okay.
What's the
then
pattern?
There's a lot of these accounts out there with fake girls who claim to be who they are, but they're actually not.
Who claim to be who they are, how?
Like they claim to be 9-year-old girls, and they're not. They're whoever. They're not 9-year-old girls. They're not 12-year-old girls. They're not.
So have multiple people hit you up claiming to be 9?
No, not necessarily. No. And the accounts always look the same. They have very few pictures, less than 12 typically. They have very little in the subject, whatever you call that, the description, the subject, whatever you call that. And if you message them, they reply. If it was a real account, they wouldn't reply. They would not. If they were real girls, they wouldn't even talk to me. Even think about twice about talking to me. So then you kind of figure that out. Okay, so then you can see the pattern because all of them look exactly the same. They're all identical. These accounts of these little girls, are supposed little girls.
Okay. So if the real girls would never respond to you, how many did you try to reach out to before you gave up? Okay, Jay, that's come on, man. That's if you know that those accounts, if you know which type of accounts respond to you and which don't, you had to have literally said hello to some real girls. Okay, Jay, we It's so easy to find where your Instagram has been, who you followed. I think you just say hi to everybody you follow.
No.
Okay.
Never.
Well, if you're starting to distinguish between the real girls and the fake girls, like who replies to you, who doesn't, okay, I'm gonna let you know. You slipped up when you said that. You slipped up. So, if the real girls didn't reply to you,
Never reached out to real girls. Now, I did reach out to those accounts that you can tell.
that are fake.
Yeah, the fake accounts.
Okay, so it was more than just 6 girls then.
There
More
has
than just
not-
6 fake accounts then. If you're
There hadn't been that many. There's not that many out there that look that way, which is wrong.
okay. Well, you said you started to notice a pattern with them, and you just said a little bit ago there's so many of them like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, there is a lot. There's a lot.
Okay.
But I
So-
only reached out to probably 6 or 8. I mean, maybe.
Okay. So, Jay, I mean, if there's a lot like that, and you're only reaching out for the interaction, so did you reach out to all the fake ones? You think, or it's because Jay, what you're doing is not really making sense. Did you reach out? Did all the fake accounts respond to you, or
No.
okay?
Most of the time they don't.
Okay. So do you think maybe 6 to 8 only responded to you?
That's probably
Okay. So do you think you reached out to more fake underage accounts than 6 or 8? Just reached out saying hello or something or probing?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Maybe, or do you think it's probably a lot?
It's not that many. Maybe 12.
Okay. Okay. So, Jay, what I'm getting hung up on, man, is you starting to notice which accounts respond to you, which ones don't, and you started to distinguish between what you call real, what you call fake. So, how do you know these real accounts don't respond to you? You had to look, even if it was 1 or 2, you had to have known that they don't do that stuff. And you can't just know if they respond to you or not if you don't message them. You had to have known. Like I said, you slipped up when you said that, man. So I'm trying to figure out real girls. How many? Even if you didn't send any pics, it's fine. I mean, how many? Because I'm trying to see how far this fantasy went. That it got into the realm of real, because it always does. How many of those mom managed accounts or girl accounts that don't look like what you call fake accounts? How many did you say hello to?
There weren't many.
There weren't many.
No. Maybe one.
Maybe one. Okay. What was that one account, if you remember?
I don't have a clue.
Was it Russian or?
Maybe. I don't remember who it was.
Okay. Did they respond to you? Okay. What did you say to them, if you remember?
Probably just hi. That's all I ever said.
Okay. And how do you know that was a real account, but these ones were fake?
I don't really know initially up front, right? Because that was early on.
Uh-huh.
So, I probably maybe said hi. They didn't reply. So didn't say anything else. And then, I find an account that looks like I was telling you. I reach out to that one. They do respond. I said, okay. Then
Okay.
kind of figure out early on that it's probably not real.
Uh-huh.
I said, okay, well, that's okay. If they're going to reply back and I reply back to them, if some dude in Africa needs his thing, it's fine with me. That works for me.
So how early on are we talking, though?
So they reply within a day or two. Does that mean within a day?
Yeah, how early on do you, figure it out that it's, fake?
Well, it doesn't take maybe 1 or 2 messages. Reply back and forth. Doesn't take long. It's one of the most cue things that always cues me off that they're fake is if they immediately tell me their age and where they live. Okay, something's not right here, especially if I didn't ask for it. And then they'll go, "What about you?" And that almost immediately makes me think it's overseas too,
Okay.
in Africa or wherever.
Okay.
Almost immediately.
Okay. So on your J account, you're following basically majority underage. Would you agree? Okay. So you're following majority underage. Okay. So I doubt that you reached out to 12 what you call fake accounts, and basically only one account that you say looks real. I think you just reach out to a ton of accounts, real and fake, and you just put out a net and see who responds.
I'll do it. I will do it to accounts that aren't. I don't do it to any of the accounts I follow that I know. I don't do that. But those accounts that pop up that have 6 or 8 pictures, they have a very small. There's not a whole lot in the subject or whatever you want to call that, the description.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'll reach out to those. I'll say hi.
So when did you believe that Hannah and Bailey were fake?
Very early.
Yeah.
Very
Like,
early.
did it start? Did you figure out in the messages?
Yeah.
Okay. So is that what made you know? Okay. So Jay, in their bios, they have how old they are in there. Hannah has that she's in whatever grade, or 13. Bailey has she's in 9. So if you're finding out they're fake after you already know the age, that tells me that you do reach out to accounts you're hoping it's real. Yeah, because Jay, if you're finding out from how they type that it's fake, the age is always in their bio. Monica, 5th grade in her bio. You said hello to her. You hit her up. If you say that the messages tell you they're fake, then you hit up a bio knowing she was in 5th grade. So this tells me you say hello to a lot more accounts than you're letting on.
By the time I got to Monica, though, I knew the cues. I knew it wasn't real.
Okay, but what I'm saying with Hannah and Bailey is you saw their age in the bio, you saw this stuff, you saw their usernames, 2012, whatever, indicating how old they were. If you found out they were fake a few messages in, if that's what you're claiming, then you hit those accounts up, hoping it was a real kid. It's not like a yes or no. It's more of just like based on what you said that has to be true. If we're using logic here. So why?
It's part of the fantasy.
But that's not a fantasy. If you say you find out when they're faking the messages, then looking at their bio, seeing that they're underage, you're still hitting them up and messaging them. That you're hoping they're real.
Not necessarily hoping that they're real. You know, I'm okay with them being fake. I'm okay with that.
I know you're okay. I know you're okay with it. I'm just saying, basically the point I'm trying to get is I believe that it doesn't matter to you.
I think your girlfriend called you.
So what do you want me to do about that? Do you want me to, I mean, obviously you want me to stop, and trust me, I want to stop. I do. I swear to God, I do. What, is there something I can help you with? So as you're trying to find out for me what will help you stop more of these people like me?
1 second.
Screwed up? I get it. I'm screwed up.
Basically, Jay, what I'm saying is, if you find out those accounts are faking the messages, then you hit up those accounts, and I think you've done that to so many goddamn accounts, saying hello. I think most of them don't respond back to you, but I think you've hit up just probably hundreds of accounts just saying hi, just to get off.
I don't know if it's hundreds, but
Close.
that's been on back.
I think dozens of accounts saying they're underage. Do you think that's probably true? You think that's true? Okay. Look, man. So, you follow only underage. I mean, if you follow hundreds of underage accounts, I think you reach out to a fourth of them. I mean, do you think that's probably accurate? Okay, or is that accurate, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So, look, man. Basically, we have all this. All right, send your pics to, I don't know, God knows how many accounts. Okay. When did you get into child? Be honest.
No, do child. It's not my thing.
Okay.
It's honestly not.
Okay.
That's why I don't ask for pics.
Okay. All right, well, let's go talk to the sheriffs over there. How's it going? Who are you guys? My name's Alex, and it's Pablo. This guy's been...
Hold on. You two, could you go over there and speak to my deputy?
Sure. So, you know that show to catch. So we do the same thing across the country. We post minors online and we just travel around catching. And he's been messaging tons of assumed underage kids that we've been posting as. Andy said he's reached out to other underage accounts that I have no idea about.
Let's go here to say this again.
Okay. And he admitted to basically sending pictures to all of our accounts and sending pictures to other accounts saying they were underage. And he said he's had addiction for 28 years. He insists he's never seen child. I think that's cool. But yeah, he just, and his Instagram followings are all underage girls. He claims that he's reached out to. He claims he's reached out to like close to 100 of these profiles that are underage. And he sent these dick around like pretty often, and he admitted to, of course, sending his dick to us, and it was recently as like yesterday.
Yeah. What was his deal with him having pictures of underage girls?
He said he claims that he hasn't seen those pictures.
Okay.
But
So I was reading the notes of the call, and it says that he's got pictures of 9, 10, 11, or whatever year old girls. Is that your account?
I would assume that they would. I don't know why they would say that, but like, I mean, he looks at that stuff on Instagram, like in bikinis.
What
But
else did he say to you?
he said that he sent us a bunch of underage accounts,
Okay.
and
Willingly, just like that?
oh yeah, it's willingly.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? He willingly just told you?
Oh
that?
yeah.
What else did he say to you guys? And if you don't mind, I mean, can you email me this to me just so I can get his
Oh
confession?
yeah, of course. And he said that he's like, he said that he's had this addiction.
What do you say, he has a problem or something?
Oh, he said he definitely has a problem. Yeah. He said he's had this addiction, like addiction in general, since he was like 10 years old.
Yeah. How did you guys know that he was here, and like, how did you guys find him?
So he was dumb enough to
Was he trying to meet up with one of you guys?
he floated around. He never followed through.
Okay.
And I think he's an online. He was dumb enough to say where he worked to all of these accounts, which indicates that I thought he believed they were real. He said, "Oh, I work at whatever," and there's 2 locations. So we went to the one Pecan
How did you
Park.
even get that far with me? He was trying to meet you? Or?
I
That's
mean,
what I'm confused with. How did you get this far? Clearly he was trying to get with you guys.
I think so. He got pretty damn deep into it, but he has a wife and kid at home that have no idea about this, so I think it's hard for him. But yeah, no, he's totally fine sending where he works. He says he lives. He said he gave his basically his not his address and location. He's like, I live between. That's exactly where his house is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he said where he works. So we went to the location
How
north
did
of
you guys get that far? Like, what's the conversation? Do you guys have like a printout of it, or?
We do. I mean, it's literally just. I don't know, man.
How the hell did you get that far to get his ass? So he was trying to get something out of it.
I think so. I mean, he's texted 4 of our accounts. This is just one of the printouts here.
You got it?
Yeah, here's the key. Jay is crying.
Now he feels bad.
I know. Look at him. But he should have known better. Oh, Jay is crying. Oh, Jay.
Wait, we caught 2 J's now.
At this point in time, we have a detective coming up.
Okay.
But we need to move this over there.
Yeah,
To get it out in front of here.
Yeah.
So,
It looks like he's squatting down. There's like a confetti's coming down there in the super. Hey, you see that? That's our first international arrest in Canada. Oh, you see that? That's our arrest in our 42nd state in Delaware. YouTube's censoring channels like this left and right. If you want to keep this movement alive, consider joining locals in the pinned comment. You can see all of these uncensored, no filter, for only $7 a month. And you can keep this movement alive in spite big tech. Choice is yours. You can support the group that hasn't arrested 42 different states in 2 countries. You can see catches like the fire lieutenant, which I can't post publicly until after his trial. You can see all Stinghouse content that I think is too spicy for here, plus much, much more. Contribute directly to getting these people off the streets. Keep yourself entertained. Keep us going. Join locals. Pin comment.